Hey, babe, take a look on the blind side.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to a new podcast, Looking on the Blind Side. I'm Steve Dalton and Keith Lewis Spencer, my partner. And we're hoping that you guys are going to enjoy our podcast. We thought tonight we would start our very first episode with a kind of a get to know us, to kind of get to know me, get to know Keith a little bit. We're going to ask each other some questions to get to know us, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it and like us and keep coming back and watching more episodes.
Yeah, so I'll start us off. How'd you lose your eyesight?
Yeah. And for those of you people who don't know me, I am blind. I'm a blind local comic. And so when I was 24, almost 25 years old, I started noticing I wasn't seeing things very well. And especially when I was driving. And so I ended up going to an eye doctor and got diagnosed with an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa.
Oh, shit.
It's a retinal disease where my retina is deteriorating. And people always are like, you know, it's the best way I describe it is like an old movie. Like those old movies at the end when they fade to black at the end, like when the cowboy rides off in the sunset. It's kind of like my eyes have been doing that for the past like 25 years. Oh, wow. Just slowly fading to black. So like even the room in here, I can kind of see lights, but I don't see, like Keith's sitting next to me and I don't see him. And not because he's black. And he blends in.
So I was wondering, do you see my face?
No. Nope. I don't even really see the microphone in front of me.
Wow.
But I can kind of see some lights in the room and things like that. So,
okay.
So like when I perform, I always kind of do a joke with the audience, you know, about telling them that if this is a good time for them to go to the bathroom because I won't call on them. I even have a joke about me trying it one time. I even yelled out, I go, "Hey, where are you going?" And nobody said anything. So I was like, ah, man, I took a shot and I missed.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, I've had, you know, it's like I used to drive. I still have some friends who rode with me when I drive, and people will ask them, it's like, "Oh man, that had to be scary." And they're like, "Oh yeah, it was." I'm like, "Man, screw you." And so,
Damn, that's wild. Yeah, I thought it would be like some sort of like accident or something, or some sort of like, yeah, I didn't realize that you started losing it so young.
Yeah, it's a genetic disease. And we found out it's from my mom's side of the family.
Oh, wow.
So kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Wow.
But it's all right. So it's you know, things could be worse. That's what I always tell people.
Of course. That's awesome.
So
good way to take it.
Yeah. So how about you? I was like, I know, are you married? And I know you got a couple of kids.
Yeah, married to my wife for 11 years. We have 2 kids, a 9-year-old and a 1.5-year-old.
Yeah. And you moved here from New York, right?
Yep.
When did you move here from New York?
November 2021.
Ah. So you had your kids, or at least one of them.
Yeah, I had one of them in Missouri.
Did he want to leave? Did the one want to leave New York, or did he like it?
No, he liked it out here. Yeah. I mean, he didn't mind leaving New York because we were living in New Jersey at the time. But yeah, we had no problems leaving. It wasn't even an issue. It was cool. He was cool with it. He didn't have like too many like lifelong friends. He has lifelong friends out here now. I mean, you know, he's 9, so who knows how long that's gonna last. But still, yeah.
And plan on that for an upcoming episode. We're gonna interview Keith's son. We're gonna. He's 9 years old, plays ball, MVP in baseball all the time.
Yeah, he's a beast.
So we're gonna bring him out and find out who's better.
As far as baseball is concerned, he's gonna have me destroyed. I didn't. That's the one sport I regret that. That's the one sport that I didn't play growing up.
And see, it was the only one I played growing up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was the only one. I was like, my dad didn't want me and my brother playing football because he was too worried about getting hurt and stuff. So
yeah, do you know why I didn't play baseball? I mean, like high school wasn't an option. I mean, it could have been an option, but I didn't think of it. But like when I was probably like 6th, 7th grade, I was like a really, really good basketball player. And I went to a handball court. I had to cross them to get to the basketball courts. And a couple of my buddies were playing stickball. And they were like, yo, try and hit the ball. So I grabbed the stick and I swung and missed so hard that I fell. And everyone started laughing at me. And I was like, I'm never playing this sport again. I threw the stick. I was like, oh, never again. Stick ball. Some see me on the court. I was so mad. Oh my God. I was so tight.
You didn't get a nickname for after that? You didn't get any kind of nickname like
no, because they knew I would like destroy him on the court. So like, I was like, yo, nah, I'm not doing stickball never again. So where are you from? Where were you born? Where were you raised?
I was born in the Kansas City area, in Kansas City, but I grew up pretty much in Raytown, Missouri. Raytown. Some people like to call it Sketchtown. But no, it's one of my friends likes to call it that, Sketchtown. And no, but yeah, Raytown. Went to Raytown High School, graduated. Don't want to tell you when, because then you know how old I am, and I'm old. People who know me are gonna go, I know. They're probably gonna leave comments. It's like, I graduated with him. I know how old he is. But yeah, Raytown's cool. I still live there. I take care. I live in the house that I grew up in. Take care of my mom. She's 90. She'll be 91 in May. She fell a couple of years ago, and she's not getting around so good. So I take care of her and do everything. Before we started doing this, I cooked her and made her a BLT sandwich.
Nice.
That's what we got to film sometime. Everybody like the blind guy making food.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I have to shoot some videos of me cooking to show everybody that, hey, even though you can't see, you can still cook.
That's actually wild that you cook.
I cook all kinds of stuff. It's like, yeah, I don't do anything too extravagant, but where I got to measure out a lot of stuff. But I do have measuring things that are for blind people. There's a lot of stuff out there for blind people.
Nice.
So, yeah, but it's pretty good.
Does that stuff like audibly tell you what's in the thing? Like,
there's some, like I have like when I grill steaks and stuff like that and chicken. And it's like, I have a talking thermometer. They have talking thermometers.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah. Stick that in there, man. It tells me 165 degrees. I'm like, all right, it's done. This chicken is done.
My wife isn't blind, but she needs that.
Well, the one thing I don't, my brother is a good, he can smoke some pulled pork and smoke some brisket. He's pretty good. And he has, I don't think they talk, but he has the kind of thermometers that he has an app, and he sticks them in the meat, and he can even set like the temperature, what you want the temperature at. Yeah. And when it hits the temperature, it sends his phone an alarm, like your food's at 165 degrees. And then he knows it's done and goes out and gets it off the grill. And I was like, dude, that is so nice.
Yeah, that's dope.
But I was like, I just don't know if I could see that to do it on my phone and stuff. I gotta check it out. But yeah, it's pretty sweet deal. He was telling me about it. Got to get me some of that shit. Yep. Yeah, I was also going to ask you about if you have ever in your life, have you had anybody give you like really crazy advice, or have you had people give you good advice that you wanted to take, but crazy advice that you kind of rolled your eyes and you're like, I can't believe you said that?
Well, the craziest advice that I ever got was a different part of my life. I was, man, I hate saying this in public.
We're all friends here.
Yeah, I wasn't always this guy. I was doing other things for a different type of business, and yeah, basically that business wasn't very legal. So one of the guys that I worked with, as I'm doing the quote sign, worked with, he told me that if I ever want to basically get on a specific corner, I have to be super nice about it instead of the way we usually do it, and then you'll be able to get that corner a lot easier. And I didn't take him seriously. It's not like it's a wild piece of advice because we never did it that way. I'm talking about an opposing, and so it was just nonsense. But I tried it, and it worked. It worked. They stepped off. It was the most ridiculous crap I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, because you thought you were going to have to physically remove them.
Yeah, and so then it's like being kinder even works on the street. Like, no way. And it did. It was so wild, man. That was a one-off thing, man. There's no way. There's no way I would ever.
What's that old quote from like movies or something about thieves? You know, it's like there's something about amongst thieves or whatever. I can't remember the quote, but yeah, it's like being nice to thieves.
It was nonsense. I couldn't believe that crap worked. And then a good piece of advice. Well, I've gotten a number of like good advice for comedy. A good piece of advice that I take with me. This is from when I played basketball. Enjoy practice. Like always, don't go, and like I didn't apply this enough until like later on, but like always go into practice with your best attitude. Go into practice and make it as good as you can make it. Don't ever waste the practice. Don't go into practice and waste your time. And I thought that was a dope piece of advice, and so I take it into like open mics for me and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. I told you, I was telling you when we were talking about this before the show, I was like, I still love the crazy advice I ever got was a guy, I used to work in a movie theater, and this guy used to come like every Friday and Saturday and always had a different woman with him. Always had a different woman. And the guy used to dress like John Travolta from Saturday Night Live. He had like the suit fucking with the big neck, with the big collars and stuff. And one day after a couple of months, I felt comfortable enough, saw him enough. And the lady he was with was in the bathroom, and I asked him, I was like, man, I said, you come every Friday and Saturday and you always have a different girl with you. You never come with the same girl. And he's like, let me tell you, kid. He's like, women are like buses. You miss one, there'll be another one coming around another 15, 20 minutes. I was like, I don't know how well that works. Yeah, I don't know if I want that advice. I don't know if women are going to be appreciating being called a bus. Yeah, I was like, come on, but yeah, crazy. I always love crazy advice.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Advice is cool. So the rest of my questions, I don't have them because I lost a piece of, I lost a notebook. Like, I didn't lose it, but, like, I freaking left it, and I couldn't find it before I left. And I had a wild day today, so it was like, oh, I got to get there. I'm not going to be late. Like, being me, I hate lateness. I hate it. Like, I go to try and not be late as, like, much. Like, I would go to things early all the time just because I'm like, I'm not going to let the stereotype defeat me. I'm on time. I'm on time. So I always try and be like early for everything, or at least on time as much. And yeah, of course I forget the, very important thing.
I want to add something. Anybody who's watching this show, I'd thought of something I keep doing, and I'm wondering how many people are going to because when I'm talking to Keith, I do look over at him after we talked about how I can't see him. And I wonder if anybody's watching goes, why does he keep looking over if he can't see him? Because I have people ask me stuff like that. They're like, what are you looking at? I'm like, honestly, I'm looking at that light over there because I can see the light. I can't see you, but I figure it's over the same thing. I'm kind of looking at that light over there. I can see that light. But it's just
good. It's good. Yeah.
I know. I was like, well, it's funny to me. People, I think we talked about. I know that you didn't ask. Since I'll do this up for the question. Some things weird things that have happened to me that I find funny and weird.
Yeah.
Especially with being blind, because a lot of people ask me questions. I get people which doesn't bother me, because people come up, can I ask you a question? I always tell them, yeah, I would rather you ask me a question than just assume,
right?
Than assume something. I'm open for people. If anybody watching this gets to know me, you see me, you got a question, stop and ask me. I don't care. I don't get mad. And but like, I was on a flight once, and one of the flight attendants came over and was asking me a question, like if I needed anything, and she got really like in my face, and she was like right here, and so she's talking to me, and she goes, "Are you, She goes, "Are you completely blind?" And I was like, "Well, not 100% right here." She goes, "Because you're looking me right in the eyes," and I was like, "Well, that's lucky that I'm looking," but I'm like, "But you're." You're right here. Yeah. I can hear where your voice is coming from. You're right. So I'm like, where am I supposed to look when I know you're here talking to me? I hear your voice.
Yeah. Like
I'm supposed to look over here while you're talking to me over here. Like, I mean,
it's like talking and then you just like look off.
Yeah, I've had so many people tell me you're looking me right in the eyes.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I am not looking in your eyes. I'm like, you might think I am, but I'm not. But it's just awful funny. And I think I told you the other crazy thing. I just find it crazy that people say to me, and I never really know how to take it in a way. I do. I mean, I'm more comfortable with it now, but when I talk about losing my sight, they always go, "Oh man, you deal with it so much better than I would." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "I couldn't handle it as good as you handle it." And here's where it gets crazy. They always say to me, "I would kill myself. If I was losing my sight or I went blind, I would kill myself."
What in the...
And I'm like, "So are you telling me I should kill myself?" I was like, that's how I took it at first. I was like, "Are you telling me I should kill myself?" Yeah, I'm like, what kind? I mean, I bet I have had over 25 to 30 people say that to me.
Wow.
I mean, it is like that big of a number of people who have said it.
That's insane. 25 people with no resolve.
Yeah. It's like going, and I always tell them, I go, "No, you wouldn't do it. You would deal with it. Of course. I tell them all the time, but it's just so funny that everybody thinks they would kill themselves if they went blind.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nonsense statement. Like, I don't know. I think they be saying it like half kidding.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's like, yo, if I lost my eyesight, I would literally be a black blind comic. Like, yo, I'm not stopping anything. I would have to stop pipe fitting.
You'd be the Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder of the comic world.
Yeah, man, for real. Yeah. Oh man, I would be way worse navigating myself around, because like, yo, I'm gonna still be going with like that same confidence or whatever, and I just like walk too fast. There's definitely gonna be at least like 4 times where I just like walk straight off stage. Like, it's gonna happen. I promise you, 100% that would happen. I'll just go straight off the stage.
I almost did that one of my first open mics at the comedy club. I think it was Max. It was one of the ones Max was hosting, and I started to go the ramp at the club that we perform at. There's a ramp that go for wheelchair, whatever. And I started to go to the left of the ramp where I was gonna fall off onto top of a table, and somebody grabbed me at the last minute. It was like, whoa, over here. It was like my favorite thing. My favorite, it just amuses me. And I'm sure, I mean, it happens in I've seen it, quote, seen it, blind guy sounds, seen it. Don't have a pun. But like people, like, I'm sure you've had this in a different manner, but like, this has happened to me at least 10 times or more. People come up and they'll come up to me out of the blue. I don't know them. And they'll say something like, "My brother's blind." I was at a Starbucks standing there waiting for them to make my coffee. And this older gentleman comes up and he goes, "My wife's blind." I was like, I always think, what is my response to that? Oh, cool. It's like, I'm like, is it cool?
Yeah,
Is she part of the club?
Yeah, like what's the response supposed to be?
Yeah, I do a joke, kind of a joke about being in line at Sam's Club. I was at a Sam's Club, and I'm in the line to check out with my friend, and this woman is at the register next to us, and she leaves her cart and walks over to me and goes, "My sister's blind." I was like, okay, I was like, did she join the club? Did she get her free sunglasses and T-shirt? I'm like, what do I do with this information? It's like, it's like, because she just kind of says, oh, she's blind, and then goes back to her cart.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's
what?
ridiculous.
I know.
I have a freaking real funny, thing that happened to me that I just I just decided to do it, and it was absolute magic. So I'm 6'6", right? So then I was at this barbecue place in Olathe, I want to say, and for lunch. And then I go in there, and there's a really, really tall girl behind the register. She has her back turned. It's clearly she plays volleyball or something. And so then her back is turned. She's she's just gonna turn around and ask me what I want. But instead of waiting for her to turn around, I go, "Oh my God, you are so tall. Do you play basketball?" Yo, I see her just look up, because I know she's probably heard that effing question a million times, and she just looks up, and then when she turns around and then sees me being 6'6", she started crying laughing. It was amazing. We both died laughing because she knew I was just messing with her. And it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever have people? Do you ever have people come up? Because this is what I thought with you. My original thing when I said you might have had to deal with this. People come up and they're going, I have black friends. It's I have a black friend, or I know you told me that your wife is Indian.
Yeah.
It's somebody else is going. It's yeah, or it's oh, I know another mixed couple. Or I didn't know if you've ever had something because what do you say? It's okay, cool. It's funny when people want to point these things out.
Yeah, so I always get asked if I play basketball. I get asked a lot. I say at least probably twice a week. Yeah, twice a week I get asked if I play basketball, and it's I was no.
Yeah.
Never played.
You should be you know what you need to do is do Tom Thompson, who's another local comic, but Tom. It's just start asking him. It's do you play mini golf? But it's. That's why I always want. I always feel I don't want to be. I mean, I want to be funny, but I don't want to be mean to people. But I always think sometimes when some of the people come up and they'll say, it's I've even had people come and go. It's are you blind? I'll have my cane and I'm oh, are you blind? I'm are you mentally challenged? It's or when they sit there and they come up and they're my sister's blind, and I always go, it's I have a cousin who's mentally challenged too. Just to see, just to see if they get the joke, it's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're mentally challenged.
Yeah, I bet you they didn't get it.
I'm sure they wouldn't. But it's just so funny to give people crap. It's amazing, just the way that people, and just how they want to come up to me. And the one thing, I mean, I do I get people a lot of times come up and they want to help me with stuff too. They're can I help you? Can I help you? I appreciate,
I
appreciate.
The complete opposite.
You get people who turn and run?
People always ask me for help. I don't go to the supermarket anymore. They ask me to reach stuff. I'm dog, come on, man.
I get that a few times from some older ladies will ask me because I'm not as tall as you, but I'm 6 foot, and they'll always go, "Can you reach that up there?" And I'm I can if you guide me, and I'm up there reaching little to the left, little to the left.
Oh man.
And I'll get it. Yeah, but
so reaching stuff.
I was going to ask you a question about you have any favorite quotes or like things that you tell yourself to kind of motivational things to kind of get yourself, like if you're feeling down about something, you know, something that kind of gets you, motivated.
I'm usually, I usually like put myself in a pretty good mood in like general. Like before I go on stage, I tell myself that I'm about to have a blast right now. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have so much fun that this isn't, it's gonna be just fun. I always tell myself I'm gonna have fun, but like I don't know. I'm usually not down, even if stuff is like going horrendous. Yeah, I generally am just like, all right, and then I just like move forward. Yeah, I don't. I generally try not to be down. I try not to stress on stuff.
I've told people before, not everybody. It's like I tell myself this usually every day when I wake up in the morning. And let's say, if I'm not seeing my eyes, or whatever, if my back's hurting me or whatever, I always tell myself it could be worse. There's always somebody out there worse off than you.
Right.
There's homeless people out there sleeping in this cold. There's somebody found out they have cancer today and they only have 2 months to live.
Right.
I mean, they would trade places with me in a second. They wish the only thing they had going wrong was they were losing their eyesight.
Right.
So I've told friends this, like I had a buddy who his girlfriend broke up with him and he was like devastated. And I was like, man, if that's the worst thing that happens to you in your life, you should be happy. That's the worst. If a woman breaking up with you is the worst thing in your, it's like, there's so many other things that could be worse than that.
Yeah.
100%. And it's, there's people in wheelchairs and people, people with, really bad mental disorders and things like that. It's like, there's a ton of people out there who wish the only thing they had going wrong was going blind.
Yeah.
But I have to tell myself that. I try to tell myself that every day.
Nice.
It's like to get you going.
Yeah.
It's like
good.
And I always love one of my favorite movies is Shawshank Redemption.
Nice.
And I love that part about where he says you got to get busy living or get busy dying. And when I first started losing my eyesight, I kind of felt down and felt bad. And I watched that movie and I was like, man, yeah, I got to live. Just because I'm going blind, man, I still got to live.
And like, you're saying something real poignant, and that's an awesome thing. But like, when you watch it, you can still see it.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, my eyes weren't as bad then too. I can still see.
I'm laughing a little bit.
I know. I still watch movies. I still watch movies. I love going to the movies. And now, actually, it's badass. Now at the theaters, I can get a descriptive headset.
Oh wow!
And it describes the movie.
That's dope.
But sometimes it is hilarious. My favorite of all time, I went and saw that newest Jackass movie they came out with a couple of years ago. And oh my God, listening to that thing describe it.
Hilarious.
Oh my God. It was sitting there. There was a scene where I think we're going to make this podcast 18 where we can curse. I guess because we're going to have comics and stuff on here.
Yeah,
but there's a scene. We won't curse on the episode your son's on. But there's a scene in there where these guys take this plexiglass and they pull their dicks out and they squish their dick between two pieces of plexiglass. And then they have a pitching machine and the pitching machine is throwing balls and they're swinging this thing, trying to hit the ball. And listening to this, and it was a woman describing the movie. And she's like, they're pulling out their penis. They're placing it between two pieces of plexiglass. They're squeezing it together. It's like they're swinging it at the ball. He hit the ball. Wow. I know when I went to return, I always take it back to return it when I'm done. Yeah. And I asked the person working the desk, I go, have you seen that new Jackass movie? And they're like, no. I said, I highly recommend you get this descriptive headset when you watch it. Because it is like...
That must have been incredible.
Oh, man. Well, I do a joke on stage about a friend of mine talked me into going and seeing a movie called Love, Lies, and Bleeding. And she's like, there's a really hot like lesbian scene in it. And I was like, oh, I got to see how this thing's going to describe it. And it didn't. But the joke is that I was like, it got real quiet during that scene. And it didn't describe it to me, but I was like, I was sitting there when I was like listening, and I kept thinking that the joke is that it said, damn, this is hot. Too bad you can't see it. I was like, damn, descriptive headset.
Nice.
You're missing out on all the hot action, dude.
Was it in the movie?
It was called Love, Lies, and Bleeding.
Love, Lies, and Bleeding.
Yeah, it had Ed Harris in it. Ed Harris. I haven't seen him in a long time, but it wasn't a bad movie. It was actually not too bad. But I still love movies. Before I lost my eyesight. I worked for like 8 years, from when I was 16 to when I was 24. I worked in a movie theater.
That's dope.
So I love movies. Movies.
Oh yeah.
I'll sit and listen. I sit and listen to them now.
Nice.
But it's all good.
Yeah, man.
So
I have like freaking.
it's all right.
Yeah, man.
So I got another question. Maybe this will be our last question. I don't know how much time we got left, but I wanted, because I kind of want to make this question a theme when we're interviewing people.
Yeah.
Is I want to ask people if there is a time whatever they're doing, comedy, music, art, whatever, or sports or whatever. It's like, has there ever been a time where you thought about quitting the comedy and quitting the stuff because, maybe things weren't going the way you thought it was going to go, or things got too tough and you're like, man, it's like, and then how you got yourself out of it?
Well, with comedy, no. I'm 41, so, and I got almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in May. It's like, once I started this, I knew that this is what I was going to do, and I was going to keep pushing for whatever. I guess with comedy, quitting never was even an option. It never was a thing. Obviously, there's times when it got like really tough, like when I first started. I feel like there's a stage in comedy that all comics go through. It's a delusional stage. It's a stage where like comics will think they're doing well enough, or they think they're doing good, and they just keep on going up, not putting in enough work, not changing something, and they just go up night after night thinking that they're doing it right. My delusional stage lasted 6 months. And I know that because 6 months I was feeling great about myself. And then I found out that I'm supposed to actually watch my sets back and then review them. And I realized that I had been bombing for 6 months straight. That was a hard beat. But I was like, oh, wow. And I was just like, all right, I gotta get better at this. This is dog crap. And so I just freaking, ended up freaking, putting in more work and then trying to get better. But that was, it was wild. But that got me out of my delusional stage. Yeah, it was crazy.
Dude, I never thought of it that way, but you're 100% right, because now that you say that, because I went through that too, and I never labeled it, but that is a perfect label.
Yeah,
because when I first started, or when I was really coming back going to the club, I would go up and man, I would get good laughs, and when I would get done, people would come up to me and go, "Oh man, that was a good set. Man, that's funny. You're funny. And so I kind of got a big head, and I kind of did the same thing a little bit. I wasn't really recording it yet, but I knew I needed to.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there and I started going, it's like, man, everybody, people like, and then there was certain people who weren't really talking to me. And I thought, okay, these people like me, these people don't. But I was like, okay, I'm not focusing on the people who don't, because I thought they're haters. I thought I was doing so good. They're probably like, man, he's only been doing this like a couple of months. And who does he think he is? It's like, and then like you said, I started taping myself and I started going, oh my God, I say too much.
Yeah.
I say, I don't transition good to the one joke to the other. I'm like my material wasn't bad,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, there's so many little like technical things that like
yeah,
you just completely don't even realize they exist. You completely overlook them
yeah,
when you're first starting and crap. And
yeah,
I'm a baby in it, but like it's still there's so much that you don't like. I don't think I even knew to move like the mic stand when I
yeah,
was like starting out. Like I didn't even move it. Sometimes I just like talk through it or whatever,
yeah,
and then like always like I would curse too much. I was saying the F word,
yeah,
not FAG,
yeah,
FUCK,
yeah,
like constantly. I was saying it unnecessarily, and then like it wasn't until Brett Schmidt out of Lawrence, the man, he was like, dude, you're funny, but like you're saying like F entirely too much. And I was like, really? And then I like listened to it and I was like, holy crap. I am.
I know.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I did the same thing, and I would show my videos to people to get their feedback too. And I had a couple of people say the same thing to me. They were like, "You don't need to say the F word as much as you do," And I dialed back on that, and and just being, and I used to do some dirtier stuff too. That was like just flat, And it's like, okay, I can say this in a different way. That doesn't sound so nasty, and yeah, it's interesting. But it was like, but my delusional part too was I kept sitting there thinking, like, why am I not getting booked on shows? Why? It's like everybody tells me I'm funny and tell me and I was like, why am I not? And it's like I've only been doing it for like 3 months, and it actually took one of the comics who has been around for a while to kind of slap me in the face with it, and it's like, if she watches this show, Maddie, I love you, Maddie. Maddie told me, she goes, you've only been doing this for like 3 months. So and so's been doing it for years. It's like, it's like, why didn't I get picked over them? Why did I, and she pretty much was telling me, it's like, dude, you got some dues to pay. You don't just come in and are given stuff, man.
Right.
You gotta pay your dues.
Exactly.
And and then I did it when she said that to me. I went home and sat down and I thought, yeah, who the hell do I think I am? Think I'm Kevin Hart, or something. I'm gonna be just coming, or
Hey,
I think I'm Eddie Murphy.
Been doing it for freaking 25 years, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, it's like been, they've been living in their cars and stuff like that and going all over. And I was just kind of like, it hit me. And I was like, I just calmed down after that and just started doing, like you said, I just started working on it, cutting back on the F words and trying to write good jokes, to work on the deliveries and then it's nice when my friends come after I've been doing it for 6, 8 months, 9 months. They're like, damn, you're confident up there, man. It's like you just go up there and it's and that feels so much better than everybody saying, oh God, that's funny.
Yeah. You can tell the difference between like the actual like you're doing good feedback and then the ones that are just like you're the pass on your back.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, there's times I thought about quitting. Where I was like, when things, I didn't feel like they were going, trying to be in a little, but I caught myself. It was like, what am I being, a baby? It's like, I'm going to quit. Nobody's asking to be on shows. I'm just going to quit, take my ball, go home. And it was like, I had to work through that shit. I was like, man, kind of like, I used to do that with young people at my job. When I was working at my job, somebody would come and they'd be working there for like 4 or 5 months and they'd put in for a promotion and they're like, oh, I'm going to get that job. And I'm like, why do you think you get? They're like, oh, I deserve it. And I'd always go, whoa, you don't deserve shit. I was like, you've only been here like 6 months. I'm like, and I'd always ask them, I go, so-and-so over there's been here 5 years or 10 years. Why do you deserve it over them?
Exactly.
And it's, so I had to kind of have Maddie gave me a slap in the face self-check. Thank you, Maddie. I still love you, even though you slapped me in the face. Dope. And hopefully she watches this. I'm going to make her.
Right, just guilt her into it.
Yep. So, but yeah. So, I think this is going to be the end of our first episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty close to the end of our first episode. We hope everybody liked it. If you want to, since, if you're liking it so far, you want to follow me. I'm on Instagram at blind_Steve_comic, Steve Dalton.
Yep.
And you can also search for me. So I'm on YouTube to watch some of my videos.
Oh, yeah. I'm not uploading anything to YouTube yet, but I'm on Instagram, Keith Spencer Comedy. And, yeah, I think we're going to be doing a lot of great stuff for this podcast. We're going to be doing some interviews with local artists, not just comics, but like musicians, everything. Yeah, it's gonna be dope. Might even do some skits and stuff.
Yeah, do some skits hopefully, and some funny stuff, and we were talking about maybe even getting some animation going, maybe in the summertime.
Yep.
Maybe do some animation, and if somebody out there, if there's any local musicians or artists or something, maybe hit us up on our Instagram if you think you would be a good guest and would like to come and be interviewed by us. Maybe reach out to us.
Yep.
And we'll get you on the show.
100%.
And pick you apart.
Yeah.
No.
But
anyway, dude, me and Keith are looking forward to getting this going and hopefully get lots of subscribers and people watching. And
Can I ask? Do you guys have any shows coming up, either of you?
Ooh, yeah. On the 22nd, actually Wednesday, I'm in St. Louis at some comedy competition at the Funny Bone in St. Louis. On the 22nd, I'm in Maryville. I'll be opening up for Mike Baldwin.
Nice.
And let me see what else. There's one more day, but Steve, if you got anything.
I got April 29th. April 29th at the Hillsider in KCK. Doing a show, starts at 7:00. That's the only thing I have going so far right now.
Nice.
And
yeah, on March. One of these damn Marches. One of these dates in March, I'm doing 30 minutes at Hillsiders.
Oh, nice.
But or is it April? Where is it? Yeah. It's one of these damn dates in March, I'm pretty sure. How many times?
You shooting? Somebody shooting over there?
All right. Yeah, it's oh wow, it's April 29th.
Oh, April 29th?
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing the show I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, damn, he gets 30 minutes. I get 12. So much.
Yeah, man.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'll be a good show then, man.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be on the same show. Come see us April 29th.
Oh, yeah.
The Hillsider.
Yeah, looking forward.
Looking forward to seeing you all there.
Me too. I'm looking forward to hearing you.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Catch you on the flip side.
Peace.
Peace.